Good evening to all of you. Today, we are going to discuss the balance part of section 17. My dear friend, believe me, the 17 subsection 5 which we are going to discuss today is a very, very important. So, in the 17 subsection 5, we will talk about the block credit. What is the block credit? Block credit means the credit which is not available, even though that credit is in the course or furtherance of the business, but still you will not be entitled to take the ITC. And the simple reason, because it is given in the section 17 subsection 5. Let me start the 17 subsection 5. Notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 1 of 16 and subsection 1 of section 18, meaning thereby whatever it is written in 18.1 and 16.1, but if the name of the expenditure is coming in the 17.5, you won't be able to take ITC. It is block credit. Input tax credit shall not be available in respect of the following. Clause A talking about motor vehicle for transportation of person. Which motor vehicle? Every motor vehicle? No, sir. The motor vehicle which is for the transportation of the person having approved sitting capacity of not more than 13 seaters, including driver. Then ITC would be blocked, except when they are used for making the following taxable supplies. It means if the motor vehicle which is being used for the transportation of person having approved sitting capacity of 13 seater, not more than 13 seater, ITC normally blocked, but if the same is covered in the below clauses, you can take the ITC. Please note, important word, following taxable supplies. It means these nature should be, the use of the car, motor vehicle should be in the below activity, and the below activity should be your taxable supplies. First is further supply of that motor vehicle. Second is transportation of passenger. And third is imparting the training on driving of such motor vehicle. Now we are going to discuss some important point in this clause itself. If I like to say that if the motor vehicle is being used for the transportation of goods, will the ITC be available or not? Kindly give me the answer. राम सर 1 मिनट दीजिएगा मुझे, ठीक है? I am requesting everyone, please give me the answer. If I am using for transportation of goods, will I be able to take ITC or not? Second, if I am saying I am in the business, give me the answer for 1 or 2 question, then we will discuss again. Second question, suppose I am purchasing the motor vehicle for further supply. I am buying the motor vehicle and I am selling the motor vehicle. What do you think? ITC would be available or not? Now, here we need to again discuss these two important questions. For understanding this clause, I am saying motor vehicle, which is used for the transportation of persons and not more than 13-seater is a motor vehicle which is ineligible motor vehicle. Fine. If you give me the answer, suppose I am saying to interpret this particular clause, this particular restriction, I am saying if motor vehicle which is used for the transportation of person plus and not more than 13-seater, that motor vehicle is the block category, ineligible motor vehicle. Now you tell me, if I am saying the motor vehicle which I am purchased, that is transportation of goods, that is being used for the transportation of goods, what you will say? Is it eligible or ineligible? Is it eligible or ineligible? I'm asking to all of you. Is it eligible or ineligible? I am saying what is the meaning of eligible or what is the meaning of ineligible to interpret the clause. Ineligible means the vehicle which is being purchased is being used for transportation of person plus up to 13-seater. That is ineligible motor vehicle. Now my question is, if I am saying I have purchased the truck for transportation of goods, what you will say? Is it eligible or not eligible? I am purchasing the truck transportation of goods. It will be eligible category. It will be under eligible category. Which motor vehicle is blocked? Sir, only person motor which is being used for the transportation of person is blocked. If I am saying I am purchasing the truck and using for the transportation of goods, is it blocked? Answer is no, it is not blocked. If I am saying approved seating capacity of not more than 13-seater, if I am saying approved seating capacity of not more than 13-seater, that is under the block category. Now suppose I have purchased a motor vehicle, let's say bus, that is more than 13-seater. What you will say? Is it ITC available or not available? ITC available or not available? Please give me the answer. I am saying I am purchasing the bus more than 13-seater, ITC available or not? Answer is ITC available. Going back, see, definitely you can see this particular clause in one or two particular part or one or two particular category of the expenditure will come in your big question. See, okay, someone are saying, sir, how? Pooja, I'm asking again one question, and this question is all of you, to all. Kindly confirm whether all motor vehicle is blocked. Yes or no? Simply say whether all motor vehicle is blocked. Say yes or no. Simply say yes or no. Whether all motor vehicle is blocked. Whether all motor vehicle is blocked. Please confirm whether all motor vehicle is blocked. Yes or no. You simply say yes or no. My question is, every motor vehicle which you purchase, that is blocked? All are saying no. All are saying no. So my next question, which motor vehicle is blocked? Transportation of person motor vehicle is blocked or transportation of goods motor vehicle is blocked? Now please answer transportation of goods motor vehicle is blocked, or transportation of person motor vehicle is blocked, or both. Or both. I'm just highlighting one word, then you need to give the answer accordingly. Whether all motor vehicle is blocked, whether all motor vehicle is blocked, or transportation of person motor vehicle is blocked, or transportation of goods motor vehicle is blocked, or both. The answer would be the vehicle which is being used for the transportation of person. The vehicle which is being used for the transportation of person. You all tell me one answer. If I am purchasing the truck for the transportation of goods, ITC available or not? Now you all tell me the answer once again. If I am purchasing the truck for the transportation of goods, whether ITC would be available or not? I am purchasing the motor vehicle named as truck, whether ITC would be available or not? The answer would be the truck. Use of the truck would be transportation of goods. We can say only that transportation of person is in the block category. The underlying expenditure is that transportation of goods, not block. ITC eligible. ITC eligible. Now second question. Now come to the second question. Whether any capacity is under the block category, only up to 13-seater is under the block category. Whether all transportation of persons in the block category, or only up to 13-seater transportation of person vehicle is blocked. Whether all transportation of motor vehicle used for transportation of person is blocked, or only up to 13-seater. Only up to 13-seater. Only up to 13-seater. Now kindly give the answer for the question number 2. Question number 2. Now Sushilji, please try to understand. This is my question number 2. Everyone, Pooja, Sushil, Mahadev, everyone, I'm asking the question number 2. I have purchased that bus for transportation of my employee. Pick and drop of my employee. Sitting capacity is 52-seater. ITC would be available or not? ITC would be available or not? Somesh. Perfect. Everyone is right. Everyone is right. My question is, if I purchase the bus for transportation of my employee, what you will say? ITC is in the block category or is in the eligible category? What you will say? ITC is in the block category because the capacity of the bus is 52-seater. ITC would be available. ITC would be available. Excellent. Sasi, why ITC not available? I am saying purchase the bus having the sitting capacity of 52-seater. Which category is blocked? Transportation of person. How much capacity is blocked? 13-seater. I can say if I am purchasing the bus which is being used for transportation of person but having the approved sitting capacity more than 13, ITC available. Kindly confirm. Pooja, how you can say the block category? Hitesh, why block? Is it every category is blocked or only up to 13-seater is blocked? 3-4 answer are saying block category. Sasi, Pooja, Hitesh, Sushil, Isa, whether bus is up to 13-seater or more than 13-seater. You just tell me whether bus is up to 13-seater or more than 13-seater. In my example, whether bus is up to 13-seater or more than 13-seater. Okay, fine. You all have corrected. I am saying not more than 13 means up to 13 is blocked. Not more than 13 means up to 13 is blocked. If it is more than 13-seater, ITC available. Kindly confirm. Sasi, Hitesh, Sushil, Pooja has confirmed. The answer is eligible for input tax credit. Eligible for input tax credit. Yes, Sasi. It is only up to 13-seater including driver is blocked category. It meaning thereby if it is more than 13-seater, like I have purchased the bus ITC available. What is the problem? Great. Now, suppose I purchase Maruti car, or let's say Honda City for my director. Would the ITC be available? Up to 13-seater, and it is exclusively for the business purpose. Listen my question carefully. Listen my question carefully. I am purchasing one car for my director only for the purpose of the business meeting. Will the ITC be available? Give the answer to this question. I am saying I have purchased one car for my director only for business meeting. Will the ITC be available? Will the ITC be available? Exclusively business purpose, sir. Exclusively business. Will the ITC be available? Exclusively. I am not saying that a single paisa is being used for personal purpose, only for the business activity. Will the ITC be available? That car up to 13-seater, transportation of person, ITC would be in the block category. Dear friend, one thing please remember, in the 17 subsection 5, all the category of the expenditure which we are discussing, even though that is being used exclusively for the business purpose, immaterial, will not give any importance if the name of the expenditure is coming in the 17.5 ITC block. All the expenses which we are talking about in the 17.5 are business expenditure. I'm never saying that it is a personal expenditure. It is pure 100% business expenditure, even though ITC not allowed. Why ITC not allowed? Why ITC not allowed? Again, highlighting the first word, notwithstanding anything contained in 16 subsection 1. Notwithstanding, it means if the particular use of that expenditure is even though for business activity, but we will not allow the ITC. This part is clear or not? Kindly confirm. Is this part clear or not? Kindly confirm. Even though the expenditure is in the business nature, but we will not give the ITC. At every point of time, in every example, I will use the word it is purely business expenditure, but you will not deviate by seeing the word or by listening the word business expenditure. You will just ignore. Why you will ignore? Because 17.5 is saying notwithstanding anything contained in 16 subsection 1. Now, coming to that, see, now they are saying there are 3 exceptions. Now they are saying there are 3 exceptions. Now they are saying there are 3 exceptions. Suppose you purchase the car which is being used for the transportation of person and also up to 13-seater. But if the use of the car is below, then ITC would be available. Let's assume, friend, I am having the showroom of motor vehicle. What I am doing, I am purchasing the car and for making the further selling of the car. ITC available. Here, please be understand that because this car use, the use of the motor vehicle is being used in the below specified category, ITC would be available. If my use is further supply of that motor vehicle, ITC available. If the use of the car is transportation of passenger, ITC available. Suppose I am purchasing the car and doing the business of like Ola Uber. I am purchasing the car and doing the business of Ola Uber, ITC available, no problem. I am having the showroom and purchasing and selling that car, ITC would be available. I am having that training school. I am having that training school in which I am providing the training how to drive that motor vehicle. If I am purchasing the car using for the driving, using for the training on driving, then ITC would be available. Repeating again, entire clause, I am concluding. Normally, if I'm purchasing the car used for the transportation of person up to 13 seater, ITC not allowed. But yes, if the purpose of the car is for further supply or transportation of passenger or imparting the training, then ITC would be available. Please do not forget to remember this word. Please do not forget to remember this word and write this word in the exams. This should be your following taxable supplies. It means you are doing the business of that activity. You are doing the business of that activity. These are the following taxable supplies. Kindly confirm these three exceptions are clear to all or not. These three exceptions are clear to all. These three exceptions are clear to all. Please confirm. These three exceptions in which you can take the ITC, is it clear or not? Yes, I am able to see. Ankur, whatever you are sending, I am able to see now. Yeah, Somesh has asked very good question. What is the difference between person and passenger? See, in above you are saying transportation of person and in bottom you are saying transportation of passenger. What is the difference? Not much difference. But what is the difference that if it is following taxable supplies, then ITC would be allowed. Try to differentiate these two. Suppose I am purchasing the car. Suppose I am purchasing the car for pick and drop of my employee. Suppose I am purchasing the car, not bus. Purchasing the car for pick and drop of my employees. It is my outward taxable supplies? No. Is it my outward taxable supplies? No. ITC not allowed. Why not allowed? Because I'm using for the transportation of person having not more than 13 seater capacity. ITC not allowed. Similarly, I have purchased the car. Now I am using like Ola and Uber. Transportation of person. Whether I am charging something, whether I am collecting the money, is it my taxable supplies? Is it my taxable outward supply? Answer is yes, ITC would be allowed. Is it clear? Somesh and the participant who has asked this question. Somesh and Isa, you both have asked very good question. But the difference is, normally if it is being used for the transportation of person, it can be employees, it can be director, it can be any person. But when it is become following taxable supplies, means it is your business to pick and drop of any person, then you will be able to take ITC. मेरे घर में एक तोता है, मतलब पैरेट है. I am having one parrot, so that is the reason. Thank you, Pooja. Passenger include more than 13. Sasi Mahadev, passenger means I am doing the business and providing the service as a business. Yes. The important term is following taxable supplies. Important term is the following taxable supplies. You are transporting the passengers, means it is your business. Fine. Great. Now moving to the next point. Similar type of the restriction are there in the vessel and aircraft. If vessel and aircraft is being used for the following taxable supplies, ITC allowed, otherwise not allowed. Here there is no concept transportation of up to 13 seater or more than 13 seater. Here there is no concept of sitting capacity. If you are purchasing the vessel and aircraft for the purpose of the further supply or transportation of passenger or imparting the training on flying of the aircraft or then allowed, otherwise not allowed. Is it okay? Same point we are discussing here, that if it is being used for the further supply, ITC allowed. Transportation of passenger following taxable supplies, it means it is your business, ITC allowed. Imparting the training, navigating such vehicle, or imparting the training on flying, ITC allowed. And transporting of the goods, ITC allowed. First, confirm this part is clear, and after that I will tell you one big difference. One big difference. Some question is there. For a software company who drop their employee, will it be passenger? This is passenger, but will it be a taxable supplies? Will it be a taxable supplies? Is it a taxable supplies? Thank you. Sorry friends, because of some technical issue at my end, and now we can start. So we were talking about if the motor vehicle is being used and that is my business, that is being called as a transportation of passenger, ITC would be allowed. Now we were talking about vessel and aircraft. Vessel means like ship. I'm purchasing the ship. Transportation of goods, ITC allowed. Vessel and aircraft I am purchasing, but if the use which we have discussed, that if the use of that motor vehicle, vessel and aircraft is for that purpose, then ITC would be allowed. Otherwise ITC would not be allowed. Any question, please ask. I'm sharing that particular screen. Yes, thank you. Fine, thank you. So in the clause A, we have discussed the motor vehicle for transportation of person, and in the clause AA, we have discussed vessel and aircraft. Now, if you see the clause AA, there is a minor point to be noted. Minor point to be noted. What is that? See, here they are writing clause 1 and subclause 1, and here in the bottom they are writing subclause 2. Why the transportation of goods is made separate? Why the transportation of goods is made a separate clause and not added in the normal clause? Meaning thereby, if the transportation of goods, whether it is your outward taxable supplies like as a transporter, or you transport your own goods, in both the cases ITC would be available. I'm repeating once again. See, in the clause AA, if you see in the clause AA, if you see that they have not added, like here in the, they have not added transportation of goods like as a clause E. No, they have made separate subclause. Why they have made separate subclause? Because these following activities should be your taxable supplies. Which one? Transportation of passenger, imparting the training, flying, further supply. But transportation of goods, it is not necessary that it should be the outward taxable supplies. You can transport the goods of your own business, then also ITC would be available. Is it clear? This is the important point which make very much difference. So I hope it is clear to all. Sir, cargo planes do contain some personnel too. Will it be considered as carrying the personnel? Voice is not audible. Is it? I think there is no problem in the voice. Please confirm. Participant, kindly confirm. Is there any problem in the voice? Fine. Audio is also okay, right? Fine. Karthik, you have asked cargo plane do contain some personnel too. Will it be considered as carrying the persons? Answer is yes, but to some extent, if the personal activity, we have yesterday in the last class we have discussed, in case some ITC is being used for business and non-business purpose or taxable and exempt supply, you need to reverse some proportionate ITC. That's it. Fine. So now clause AB saying if you are incurring the expenditure on the general insurance, servicing, repair and maintenance, insofar they relate to the motor vehicle, vessel and aircraft. If you are incurring the expenditure on insurance, servicing, repair, maintenance, as they are related to the motor vehicle, vessel and aircraft, ITC would not be available. When ITC would be available? The first concept you all remember. If you purchase the motor vehicle or vessel and aircraft, whether ITC of the original vehicle is available. If your answer is yes, I can say the ITC of the additional expenditure would also be available. Repeating again, clause AB, first thing I am telling you that if the ITC of the original motor vehicle, vessel or aircraft is available, then ITC of the insurance, repair, maintenance is also available. Second, where it is written, sir? It is written in the subclause 1, where the motor vehicle, vessel and aircraft in the clause A and AA are used for the purpose specified therein, then ITC would be available. Now they are saying some more exception. Some more exception. What is that more exception? If you are into the manufacturing of the motor vehicle or vessel or aircraft, then also expenditure ITC on insurance, repair, maintenance would be available. And last, if you are into the general insurance, then also ITC would be available of the insurance expenditure. Now, suppose you are doing the manufacturing of the motor vehicle and you are incurring the expenditure on the insurance, or you are incurring the expenditure on repair, maintenance, ITC would be available. If you are having the business of the general insurance, then also ITC of the general insurance would be available. So not clear about this clause. Let me take one example to explain this clause. Let's say I am general insurance company. You are having the motor vehicle and this company is providing the insurance of the motor vehicle. Say you are Maruti Industries Limited. Let's say you are Maruti Industries Limited. Assuming you are Maruti Industries Limited, you have taken the insurance of the car from GIC, General Insurance Company. Now, because the cost or because the exposure or the risk is very high, they will outsource certain part. Let's say they have outsourced to the insurance company too. Some part they have outsourced. Now tell me, when the insurance company 2 will raise the bill on insurance company 1, would the ITC be available? Because this ITC is because this expenditure is insurance of the motor vehicle. Will the ITC be available? Because of the clause 2, ITC would be available. What we are discussing in this clause, we are discussing whether insurance expenditure, the repair and maintenance expenditure of the vessel, aircraft or the motor vehicle is available or not. What is the answer? First, if the particular use of the car is being specified therein. So if you are able to take the ITC of the original motor vehicle, you can take the ITC of expenditure. If you are not allowed to take the ITC of motor vehicle, ITC on these expenditure would also be not available. Point number 1. Point number 2, if you are into the manufacturing of the motor vehicle, let's say Maruti Industries Limited, you are manufacturing the motor vehicle. And if you have taken the insurance, the ITC would be available to you. To whom the ITC would be available? For the party, for the recipient who is incurring that expenditure. Suppose I'm saying that GIC is raising the bill to the Maruti Industries Limited. Maruti Industries Limited would be able to take ITC. Why? Because of this exception. Now I'm saying general insurance company has outsourced certain part. GIC has outsourced certain part to another insurance company. Now another insurance company will raise the tax invoice to GIC. Will the ITC be available? Because the purpose of the insurance is the insurance of the motor vehicle. Will the ITC be available? Because of the exception to first, GIC company would be able to take the ITC on this invoice. Somesh, is it okay? Everyone please confirm. Is it clear? Everyone please confirm, is it clear? Any doubt you can ask. Requesting everyone to all, please confirm. If any doubt you may ask, I will repeat again. There is no problem in repetition multiple time, but the concept should be clear, because this would consist your practical. You can expect some part in your practical problem from this 17 subsection 5. That is to be sure. So miss, is it clear now? Fine. Take it. So now I am talking about the following supply the goods and services or both. Again, it is blocked category. Food and beverages means ITC first allowed to J company, then to the Maruti company. See, I am talking about two different expenditure. I am talking about two different clause. So I have given to explain that both clause, I have given one example. It's not, there is no linkage. There is no linkage that ITC would be available only when he can take the ITC first. Short, see, I will explain in short once again. I am talking about that normally which expenditure we have talked about, or which expenditure we are talking about? Insurance of the car, repair and maintenance of the motor vehicle, vessel or aircraft. ITC available? Prima facie answer would be no. So when it will be available? Point number one, when this expenditure, when the ITC of the original motor vehicle, vessel and aircraft is available, then you can take the ITC. Point number two, if you are manufacturing of the motor vehicle, ITC would be available. Third, when you are into the general insurance and you are outsourcing certain part for which you are receiving the insurance bill, tax invoice, then ITC would be available. Can you please give another type of example in the clause? No problem. No problem. So, see, first tell me. Fine. I'm repeating by using the another example. Question number one. You have the car, you have taken the insurance. Will the ITC be available if it is car is for director purpose? Will the ITC be available? You are having one car for director purpose. Now you have taken the insurance of that car, whether ITC would be available. ITC would not be available. So prima facie, I can say if the expenditure is of the general insurance, etc., ITC would not be available. Question number two. If you are having the bus for transportation of passenger, transportation of your employee, it is not outward taxable supplies, whether you can take the ITC of the insurance on the bus. Question number two, whether you can take the ITC on the insurance of the bus, whether you can take the ITC of the insurance of the bus. Somesh and Ankur, the answer would be no, because original ITC of that original car is blocked, so ITC of the insurance is also blocked. Now you can say if you are purchasing the bus because it is more than 13-seater, ITC on the bus is allowed, therefore ITC on the general insurance is also allowed. If I am purchasing the bus, ITC allowed or not of that insurance expenditure, service and repair expenditure, answer is yes. Question number 3. If I am purchasing the truck and taking certain general insurance, servicing, repair, ITC allowed or not? ITC allowed or not? If I am purchasing the truck for transportation of my own goods, whether ITC would be available for the general insurance, servicing and repair? Question number 2, answer was yes. Question number 3, answer is yes. Sushil, bus is more than 13-seater. Bus is more than 13-seater, ITC would be available. Because whether ITC of the truck is allowed, because it is used for transportation of goods, yes, allowed. So therefore ITC of that general insurance is also allowed. Now question number 4. If you are Maruti Industries Limited, you have taken the insurance of your particular Maruti cars, ITC allowed or not? Because of this clause, ITC allowed. Till now it is clear. Very simple question I asked. Till now it is clear. Now only last point I have to explain. GIC, General Insurance Company, number 1. The business of that company is insurance of the motor vehicle. The business of that GIC is doing the insurance of the motor vehicle. The business of that GIC company is doing the motor car insurance. Let's say XYZ Limited has taken the insurance of the motor vehicle. So suppose GIC company feel that it is a huge risk. So in the insurance sector, what is going on? Single company will not have the 100% risk on its own. Every insurance company will outsource certain risk to the another organization. So what they are saying, they have outsourced 40% of this motor vehicle risk is to the another company, that is GIC number 2. Now the GIC 2 will raise the tax invoice on the GIC 1 for the, what is the nature of expenditure? Insurance of the motor vehicle. Till now the question is clear. I am saying this insurance company is doing the insurance of the motor vehicle, but they will not keep 100% risk at its own. They will outsource certain part. So they have outsourced 40%. Now they have outsourced 40% to GIC2. So GIC2 will raise the bill to the GIC1. Now he will raise the tax invoice for insurance of the motor vehicle. And once I will say the insurance of the motor vehicle, immediately this point is triggered whether ITC would be available to GIC number 1 or not. Whether ITC would be available to GIC number 1 or not, because the underlying expenditure is the insurance of the motor vehicle, which normally block in AB. Now you tell me that ITC is available or not. I am saying ITC would be available because of the clause 2. Is it clear? Karthik will discuss. Just try to try to develop the concept. Let it be in the exams. You will not be able to write clause 17 subsection 5, clause AB subclause 1. So you will not be able to write everything. So try to remember the concept. Excellent. Excellent. Very nice. Karthik, is it any problem? Is there any problem in understanding the clause? In understanding the clause, is there any problem? Definitely help you. Will definitely help you. No problem. So fine. I'm repeating once again, last time for Karthik. This clause saying, this provision says that in the supply of the general insurance service, in respect of such motor vehicle, which is being insured by him in the supply of the general insurance. So the expenditure is insurance of the motor vehicle, vessel and aircraft. And that person who is incurring that expenditure, because GIC 2 will raise the tax invoice on the GIC 1. GIC 2 will raise the tax invoice on GIC 1. Is it right now, Karthik? That name of the expenditure is insurance of the motor vehicle. Am I right? And then whether they will take the ITC, GIC 1 would be able to take ITC because he is into the business of general insurance. Yes, absolutely correct, Pooja. Karthik, fair enough. Let's move to the another clause. Now the clause B is talking about multiple expenditure, food and beverages, outdoor catering, beauty treatment, health, cosmetic, plastic surgery, leasing, renting and hiring of motor vehicle referred to in clause A and the clause AA, except when they are used specified therein. So from here to here, apply same concept which we have discussed right now. Let me complete this particular part first. I am right now discussing from here to here. Right now, I'm talking about again that motor vehicle. See, in the first clause, we have discussed if I have purchased the original motor vehicle, ITC, normally blocked. When it will be allowed? If it is covered in the specified clause or it is more than 13-seater. Similarly, in the second clause we have discussed, in the next clause we have discussed vessel and aircraft. In the next clause we have discussed insurance expenditure, service, repair, maintenance. And now we are talking about leasing, renting or hiring of what? Motor vehicle, vessel and aircraft. Which motor vehicle? Which we have referred in the clause A and the clause AA. Meaning thereby you purchase motor vehicle, you take on hire or you take on lease or you take on rent. The concept would remain same if the particular vehicle, vessel and aircraft, if ITC would be available, if you purchase originally, then ITC would be available of leasing, renting or hiring. If ITC not available of the original expenditure, it is not available for the renting as well, leasing as well, hiring as well. We'll do one exercise. So let me open one Excel sheet. Just confirm me that you are able to see that particular Excel sheet or not. Just confirm that are you able to see the Excel sheet? I am purchasing the new car for transportation of person and it is 7-seater car. Will the ITC be available? Just tell me, will the ITC be available? Entire concept would be clarified. Will the ITC be available? Yes or no? tell me, if I am purchasing the new car, which is 7-seater and transportation of persons, ITC would be available or not? If I am purchasing the new car, ITC would be available or not? Just clarify me this thing. Just confirm whether ITC would be available or not. ITC would be not available. ITC would be not available. Anyone who is saying yes? No, sir, it is blocked. Everyone is saying blocked. Suppose you incur the expenditure of insurance, repair, maintenance on that car. ITC available. ITC available of the insurance expenditure. ITC available of the insurance expenditure. Sure. Pooja, is it okay? Now the screen is okay. Will the purchase of new car, you are doing the insurance, you are taking the repair, maintenance, servicing, will the ITC be available? Answer is no. ITC would not be available. Now suppose you have not purchased a car. You have taken on lease, rent or hiring. You have taken that car but on the lease, or you have taken the car on the renting, or you have taken the car on hiring. Will the ITC be available? The answer would be no. The answer would be no. You have purchased the car 7-seater, but this is for further supply, further taxable supplies. ITC available. ITC available. You have purchased the car of the 7-seater, but the purpose of the car for further supply. Will the ITC be available? And that is outward taxable supplies. That is outward taxable supplies. Will the ITC be available? Will the ITC be available? 100% yes. ITC would be available because it is covered in the exception. Because it is covered in the exception, ITC would be available. So if you take the insurance, will the ITC be available? If this is yes, then this is also yes. If I take the car on rent for transportation of goods, ITC, if I am purchasing the truck, ITC available. 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 If I am purchasing the truck because it is being used for transportation of goods, ITC would be available, because only transportation of person is blocked, not the transportation of goods. Insurance, repair, maintenance, yes, ITC would be available. You have not purchased the truck. You've taken the truck on the lease or rent or hiring. Will the ITC be available? Will the ITC be available? Please give me the answer for this part, because we are reading this clause. Will the ITC be available if I have taken the truck on the lease or renting or hiring? Will the ITC be available? Answer is yes. What is the logic? Can you please tell me what is the logic? How you are deriving the answer? Can you please tell me? Can you please tell me what is the logic to derive the answer whether ITC on leasing, renting or hiring is available or not? Can you please dictate the answer or logic for giving the answer that ITC is available or not? What is your logic? What is your thought process? Can you please tell me your backward calculation in your mind to give the answer yes or no? Can you please give me the answer? What is the logic that you are working or that you are thinking to give the reply, so that just can ensure myself we all are on same path. We all are on same path. That's it. Okay. Dhaneshwari saying yes, as the specified purpose is satisfied of A and AA. Great. ITC is available because truck purchase was ITC eligible. Okay. I like to listen from each and every participant. What is the logic there? What is the logic? What is the logic to give me the reply that ITC available or not? What is the logic that I like to listen from each and everyone? Amrit Pal is saying as per the clause A and its exception, absolutely correct. Karthik is saying for the third column, okay, since the original vehicle, we can claim the ITC. Raghavan, yeah, absolutely correct. If the ITC of the original vehicle is available, we can say the ITC of the insurance expenditure, ITC of leasing, renting, etc. would be available. Absolutely correct. Because it's not for the transportation of person. Yes. So let me conclude for the entire motor vehicle. If the for food and beverages, suppose in the company there is a policy that if employees stay late, this is the company policy to provide the snacks, to provide the dinner, to provide the breakfast if it's coming early. Even though that is business expenditure, but ITC not allowed. ITC not allowed. Outdoor catering, beauty treatment, cosmetic, plastic surgery. So it is your company policy. It is your company policy to have the preventive health checkup on every year for your employees. ITC not allowed. It is the company, the life insurance of their employee. ITC not allowed. Health insurance, ITC not allowed. If the name of the expenditure is being written in the clause B, in any clause of 17.5, ITC not allowed. Now I am talking about the exception. Now I am talking about the exception. Exception number one. Exception number one. If it is your same nature of the business, if it is your same nature of the business, suppose I am VLCC. Let's try to understand. I am VLCC and I am incurring the expenditure on the beauty treatment to make the or to provide the outward supply of the same category. ITC allowed. To whom? I am talking about VLCC. Suppose let me talk about XYZ Limited. Let me talk about XYZ Limited, whose outward supply is same nature, beauty treatment or outdoor catering. Then if they are incurring the expenditure on these items, ITC would be available. Same nature, ITC would always be available. Same nature of the business, ITC would be available. Otherwise, ITC would not be available. Not BLCC, VLCC. So let's say any beauty product company. I'm talking about VLCC, who is providing that particular cosmetic, plastic, etc. beauty treatment. Any company who is providing the same nature of the business. If the outward and inward is same, ITC would be available. Please confirm. Is it clear? If inward and outward is of the same nature, ITC would be available. If inward and outward is the same nature, ITC would be available. If inward and outward is the same nature, ITC would be available. Available. Ankur, if you are saying bus is more than 13-seater, ITC would be available. I am not required to see the use of that particular bus. I am not required to see the use of that particular bus. Please confirm if I'm saying the nature of the expenditure. Normally, it will fall in the block category. But if they are saying if inward and outward are same nature for making the same outward taxable supplies, ITC would be available. Have you remember that concept of the composite supply or mixed supply? You remember that concept of the composite supply or mixed supply? I hope you remember that concept of the composite supply and mixed supply. Two or more taxable supplies which is bundled in the nature, out of which one is a principal supply, is called as a composite, or if it is a single price is being charged, mixed supply. My purpose is not to teach the composite or mix. My purpose is not to teach the composite or mix. So I am saying your outward supply can be of the same category. Outward supply can be of the same category, or outward supply can be as a composite supply or can be as a mixed supply. You would be able to take the ITC. I am saying, if my nature of the expenditure like food and beverages, because I am having the business of food and beverages, I am incurring the expenditure on outdoor catering business because my outward supply is outdoor catering. When I am incurring these expenditure which we have discussed, ITC would be available if it is the same nature of the business or it is a taxable as a part of the composite or mixed supply. So in the supply, we have discussed, if I am making the supply of one item, it may be single supply, or if I am supplying in the bundle, then it can be taxable as a composite or mix. So meaning thereby, if my outward supply either at a standalone basis or as a part of the composite or as a part of the mix, we are providing the supply, then I would be able to take the ITC. Otherwise, it is in the block category. Artificial bundle. Yes, excellent. Great. Naturally bundled, composite, artificially bundled, mix. Is it clear? Dealing in the same business, ITC would be available if you are dealing in different business, but you are having the business expenditure of food and beverages. Suppose you have organized Diwali meet for your employee. You are doing the cement, you are having the cement manufacturing company, but on the occasion of the Diwali, you have organized one Diwali meet on which you are incurring the expenditure on food and beverages. You are incurring the expenditure on outdoor catering. You are receiving the tax invoice. Will the ITC be available? Will the ITC be available on these expenditure? Will the ITC be available on these expenditure? Will the ITC be available to your company who is doing the business of cement manufacturing? Will the ITC be available? You have organized one Diwali meet. You organize one Diwali meet for your employee. ITC would be available. Answer is no. ITC would not be available. Why? Is it an outward taxable supplies of the same category or composite or mix? No. Then not. ITC not available. If you are incurring the expenditure for making the supply either in same category or composite or mix, ITC allowed. Otherwise not. Great. Now, please read this clause. And this clause is applicable for the entire clause B. Yet to teach the clause 2 and clause 3, I yet to explain, but meanwhile I am teaching you this clause. If it is obligatory, for an employer to provide to the employee as a compulsion of any law, if it is compulsion of the law to provide to its employee, then ITC would be available. Again, going back, in the first phase of the COVID-19, there is a change in the Disaster Management Act for a couple of days. that it is compulsory on the company to take the health insurance. Let's talk about the Factories Act. If in the factory the total number of the worker are more than 250, it is compulsion on the company to provide the food and beverages or catering facility for the worker. Let's go to the Workmen Compensation Act. They say that it is compulsory to take the insurance of your worker. In this case, the company is incurring the expenditure on food and beverages. Company is incurring the expenditure on health insurance or life insurance as a part of any other law. They are not taking voluntarily. They are taking as a compulsion. If some expenditure are being taken as a compulsion because of any other law, ITC would be available. Rafiq bhai, you are saying not clear, is it? Let me just wait for some time. We'll discuss again. But first confirm this part is clear. If it is compulsory, and why it is compulsory? Because of any other law. Let's say Factories Act, let's say Workmen Compensation Act, let's say Disaster Management Act, let's say any other act. If it is creating a compulsion on employer to provide to employee, then it's mandatory. It is mandatory, then you can take the ITC, otherwise not. This exception, this proviso, this relaxation is applicable on clause 1, on clause 2, on clause 3. On every clause is applicable. This proviso is applicable on every clause, Yes, Somesh, absolutely correct. Rafiq bhai, is it clear? This particular part is clear. You have told me one part is not clear. We'll explain after the break. But meanwhile, please confirm this part is clear or not. That proviso. Fine, no problem. Great. Then second member and fitness center, normally ITC block, but if it is compulsion, then can take travel benefit extended to the employee on vacation such as leave or home travel as concession, ITC block. Otherwise, if it is compulsion of the law, then ITC would be available. So, Rafiq bhai, you were saying this part, right? You were saying this part, right? This proviso is not clear, is it? This proviso is not clear. Kindly reconfirm so that I can explain once again. I was saying that if you are incurring the expenditure like food and beverages, outdoor catering, beauty treatment, etc., ITC not available. Prima facie ITC not available. When it will be available? If you are doing the same nature of the business. So you are incurring the expenditure on catering because you are having the catering business. You are incurring the expenditure on the beauty treatment because you are having the business of beauty treatment. So in that case, ITC would be available. This part is clear. First confirm this part is clear. Rafi bhai, please confirm this part is clear. If I am saying expenditure is of the same category, ITC allowed. No problem. In that, there is no problem. Second, if it is not the same category, but it is being sold in a bundled, it can be artificial bundle or it can be artificial bundle or it can be natural bundle. Meaning thereby, I like to say the mixed supply or composite supply. In that case, ITC would be available. So normally ITC not allowed. But yes, if I am having the same category of the business or I am selling or I am supplying in a bundled nature, then ITC would be available to me. And that part we have already discussed. If it is compulsion on the law, on the employee to provide to the, it is compulsory on the employer. It is compulsory to the employer to provide to the employee. Then yes, ITC would be available. I hope everything is clear. Rafi bhai, kindly confirm. so that we can take the break of 10 minutes. We will resume at 7:30 p.m. We will resume at 7:30 p.m. 10-15 minute break. Before that, Rafiq bhai, kindly confirm, is everything clear? And every participant I'm requesting, please confirm every part, clause A, clause B, clause A, clause AA, clause AB, clause B. Till now it is clear. Please repeat membership point. Perfect. Anyone have any doubt whatever we have discussed till now? Anyone has any doubt whatever we have discussed till now? Please confirm so that I can repeat, and then we'll have the break of 10 minutes. Amritpal, I am saying that, see, normally you may see that expenditure of the club membership of your director. ITC not allowed. Normally you will see the senior employee are taking the gym and that expenditure is booked in the company. Will the ITC be available? No. Similarly, travel benefit given to the employees, let's say leave travel assistance, they are providing the bill to the company. ITC not available. If it is compulsion on the compulsion because of any law, ITC would be available. If on any event, if cement bank are given to the employee, then sir, Bharat, we are having the separate clause H. We will discuss in the clause H. Your question is related to the clause H. You can take surprise test, sir. Definitely I will take, but in the last 10 minutes. Definitely I will take. In the last 10 minutes, we will have the surprise test. I'll not teach anything in the last 10 minutes. You will remain over there. You will remain in the last 10 minutes. If you will give the reply in the last 10 minutes, it is a confirmation that you have understood everything. Fine. Now we are taking the break of 10 minutes. We will resume at 7:30 p.m. We will resume at 7:30 p.m. Ram sir, we are having the break and we can resume. Thank you. So now we have discussed the clause B. Now we are moving to the clause C. The clause C is talking about work contract service when supplied for construction of an immovable property other than plant and machinery, except when it is an input for further supply of the work contract. What does it mean? If companies incurring the expenditure on the work contract for construction of immovable property other than plant and machinery, ITC not allowed. What is the exception? When it is input for further supply the work contract, ITC allowed. I can say it is the same nature. Na? Let me start one example. XYZ Private Limited like to construct the factory building. XYZ Private Limited like to construct the factory building. They have given the work to the, let's say, AB contractor. XYZ Private Limited need to construct the factory. Correct. They have given the work to the AB contractor. What is the work? Construction of the factory building. What is the work? Construction of the factory building. Now AB contractor is completing the work and raising the tax invoice on XYZ Private Limited. AB contractor is completing the work, this expenditure, construction of immovable property, that work is called as work contract service. Now whether XYZ will be able to take the ITC, as according to the clause C, ITC would not be available. Let's say XYZ Private Limited has decided not to outsource the entire work. He purchased the cement, iron rod, every material, and also taking the labor, individual labor, and constructing the factory building. XYZ Private Limited need to construct a factory. Option number 1, that he will give the entire work to the another contractor. Option number 2, company itself purchase the material and individually labor they will hire and then construct the building. Whether they will give the work to outsource and other company, or they will individually purchase the goods or services, in both the cases, ITC would be in the block category for the XYZ. Because what is the nature of expenditure for construction of an immovable property? If expenditure is being incurred for construction of an immovable property, ITC not allowed. ITC not allowed. Now, let's say when the ITC would be allowed. First, try to understand what is the meaning of construction. Please note one thing in the exam, this word has to become in your reply, in your answer, this word construction has to be there. Why? And you will explain the meaning of the construction. The meaning of construction has been given in the explanation. What is the explanation? Explanation says that construction include reconstruction, renovation, alteration, addition, repair, etc. But what is the keyword? Keyword is to the extent of capitalization. See, you might see in the practical any question that there is this line of expenditure, that work contract service incurred for construction of immovable property, and same has been not capitalized. Will you allow the ITC or not? Try to understand the clause. They are blocking the ITC of work contract for immovable property, but they're writing the one word that it should be construction. And what is the meaning of the construction? Explanation tell me that construction means capitalization. Construction means capitalization. Let's talk about simple example. On the occasion of Diwali or any occasion or any purpose, there is a small repair required in your building. In your office building, you are giving the work, let's say, to repair the particular wall. To particular wall. What is the capitalization? Capitalization means debit to the asset account. Debit to the asset account. What is the meaning of capitalization? Debiting to the asset account. You are carrying the expenditure to the balance sheet. Or what is the meaning of not capitalization? Means you are debiting to the profit and loss account. This part is clear to all now. Capitalization means you are increasing the value of asset. Not capitalizing means you are not increasing the value of the asset, rather you are taking the expenditure in the profit and loss account. Whether capitalization word is clear to all? Bharat and all, I am asking everyone, please confirm. Everyone please confirm whether the meaning of capitalization is clear to all. Now tell me if you are capitalizing, then ITC is blocked. If you are not capitalizing, then ITC is allowed. I was talking about then on the occasion of the Diwali, you are arranging the repair work for your office building. Let's say 10,000 rupees. The expenditure of 10,000, will you increase the value? No, answer is regular repair. You are debiting the same to the profit and loss account. Will the ITC be available? My question to all, will the ITC be available if you are debiting the same repair, maintenance, alteration to the profit and loss account, whether ITC would be available on that expenditure? Suppose that particular bill, that particular tax invoice is 10,000 plus 18% GST. Total value of the tax invoice is 11,800. Would you be able to take the ITC of 1,800? Would you be able to take the ITC of 1,800? Requesting everyone to give the answer. The answer would be yes, ITC would be available because you are debiting the profit and loss account, meaning you are not capitalizing. Because you are not capitalizing, ITC would be allowed. Because you are not capitalizing, it is not construction and therefore ITC would be allowed. Suppose you are incurring the expenditure, work contract expenditure, goods and services for construction of plant and machinery, for setting up the plant and machinery, because we know for plant and machinery you need to create the base, setup, structural support. In that case, ITC would be allowed. When ITC would be allowed, if it is not capitalization, if it is not capitalized, then ITC would be allowed. If it is related to plant and machinery, ITC would be allowed. If it is inward and outwards for supply for the work contract, then ITC would be allowed. Suppose the particular business is work contract, outward supply is work contract, and inward is also work contract, then ITC would be allowed. In the clause D, they are saying goods or services or both received by a taxable person for construction of an immovable property other than plant and machinery on his own account. Underline the word on his own account. Means if someone is incurring the expenditure for others, not for his own account, then ITC is not blocked in the 17.5D. Goods or services are both received by a taxable person for construction of an immovable property other than plant and machinery on his own account, including business purpose, ITC not allowed. So again, repeating the entire clause, please let me know if you have any question. Please let me know if you have any question for the clause C and the clause D. Please let me know if you have any question for the clause C and the clause D. You can read the meaning of immovable property. It is being given in the notes. Any doubt, any question, please let me know. Why the chat is not coming? Okay, it's coming. Somesh is saying if not capitalized, then ITC is allowed and vice versa. Yes, if it is not capitalizing, ITC allowed. If it is capitalizing, ITC blocked. Can you give me the example of this exception, please? Outward and inward is the same work contractor. Definitely. Yes, I can give the example. You want the example for the clause D also? Yeah, sure. I understood. There are 2-3 problems in this clause. Let me explain one by one. First, I am giving one example for except. First, I am trying to explain the word except to all. Okay, clause C. So one thing is clear. If I am covered in this exception, ITC allowed. I hope this part is clear that if I am covered in this exception, ITC would be allowed. Correct? If I am covered in this exception, ITC would be allowed. I am giving the example on this exception. Now I am giving the example on this exception. Let's say AB contractor has received the work from XYZ Private Limited for constructing the factory building. AB contractor has completed the factory building, then the ITC would not be available to XYZ. This part we have discussed. Now assume that AB contractor has also outsourced that work to the XY contractor or PQ contractor. It's happening now. Suppose the work is being awarded to big contractor, then big contractor, what he will do? He will outsource certain work to another contractor. Now the PQ contractor is actually undertaking the work of construction. He has completed the work and raised the tax invoice of, let's say, 5 lakh plus GST. AB contractor has also raised the bill, let's say 10 lakh plus GST. Example is clear to all, kindly confirm. Example is clear to all, kindly confirm. That he is raising the bill to the AB contractor 5 lakh plus GST. Then AB contractor is also raising the tax invoice to XYZ Private Limited 10 lakh plus GST. ITC of this GST to the XYZ is not available. It is in the block category. This part we have already discussed. But now let's see, AB contractor is also receiving the one bill of the 5 lakh rupees. What could be the name of that expenditure? Work contract service. Will the ITC be available? Now I can say whether AB contractor can use or can take the ITC of this GST. Answer is yes, can take the ITC. Why? Because it is covered in the block category. It is covered in the exception category. It is covered in the exception category, that when it is inward and outward of the same nature, then it is not blocked. Is it clear? Clear, na? This part is clear. I can say there can be the another way to understand the same example. Another way to understand. You tell me when AB contractor received the bill of rupees 5 lakh, when he is doing the same nature of the business, will he capitalize the fixed asset? Will he capitalize this 5 lakh to the fixed asset? Will he capitalize this 5 lakh to the fixed asset? Will AB contractor capitalize this 5 lakh to the asset account? Answer is never, sir. He will never capitalize. He will never, because it is the same nature of the business. Why he will capitalize? Then I'm saying that one reason ITC would be available because it is covered in the exception category. And the second reason, this particular work is not the construction and therefore ITC would be available. The second reasoning is clear to all. Second reasoning is clear to all. Kindly confirm. Second reasoning is clear to all. Kindly confirm. Building, I will tell you. Bharat, just wait for a minute. Just wait for a minute. I will come to this point. He will not capitalize. And if he will not capitalize, if he will not capitalize, then my answer, if the particular expenditure is not capitalized, then my answer, it will not be the construction. It will not be the construction, because for construction, capitalization is mandatory requirement. If it is not the construction, then I can say also ITC would be available. ITC would be available. Two reasoning. I have given two reasons why the ITC would be available. Okay. Now coming to the second point, which multiple participant has asked the same point. First, this point need the clarification, and one example also that you need for this clause D. Let me tell you one example. Rihan Construction Company is into the construction of real estate sector. He is constructing the building for his own account or for others. He is constructing the building, the purpose because he will sell the flats or office or commercial or residential. Rihan Construction is basically a construction company into the real estate sector, constructing the flat, but not for its own purpose. It is for others. So prima facie, I can say there is another problem with real estate sector that I'm not talking about. Till 31st March, I'm assuming that I'm into the till 31st March. If Rihan Construction is constructing the flat, then ITC would be available, and it is not blocked by 17.5D. Repeating again, what the Rihan construction company is doing is purchasing the goods, is taking the individual labor services, constructing the flat, and then that construction, that after construction or during the construction, he will sell to others. So can I say that they are constructing the flat not for its own purpose, rather to others, rather for others. Therefore, ITC is not blocked according to the clause D. ITC is not blocked according to the clause D. This part is clear. This part is clear. The meaning of on his own account is clear. What is the meaning of own account? I will give second example, but first tell me this example of the real estate sector is clear to all. Second example, then what is the meaning of own account? XYZ Limited, remember the first example, XYZ Limited purchasing the goods and services and constructing its own factory, constructing its own office. ITC not available. ITC not available on his own account. On his own account, for its own purpose they are constructing. ITC not available. Second example clear. Now over to you. Any question for the clause C and the clause D? Please ask. Any question for the clause C and the clause D? Please ask. So you are requested. You can read the meaning of immovable property. You can read the meaning of work contract service. It is being given in the study material. Goods and services or both on which tax has been paid under section 10. Can anybody tell me what is the section 10? Can anybody tell me what is the section 10? Can anybody tell me what is the section 10? Sir, is it compulsion for the business and furtherance of the business? Even if it is compulsion, my dear friend, starting language of 17 subsection 5, notwithstanding anything contained in 16 subsection 1, it means even though the expenditure of 17.5 is necessary for the business, but they were saying we will not give the input tax credit. Correct, Dhaneshwari? So goods and services or both on which tax has been paid under section 10, that is composition levy. The composition levy cannot collect the tax. Composition levy cannot take the input tax credit also. Goods and services or goods or services or both received by the non-resident taxable person. So that registration chapter, I am myself is going to take the registration also, but for the time being, only one point, that there is a separate category of registration, non-resident taxable person. If is coming to India occasionally and like to make a taxable supplies, he can take a registration under the NRTP category. That registration is valid for a maximum period of 90 days, in which they won't be able to take the ITC. Whatever they purchase locally, domestically, they cannot take the ITC. What is the ITC eligible? Only import of goods ITC is available. Only import of the goods ITC is available. Rest ITC not available. So whether they import the services, ITC not eligible. Whether they purchase goods or services domestically in India, not available. Only import of the goods ITC available, rest not available. Goods or services for personal consumption, ITC not available. That is very much clear to all. This is very, very important. Very, very important. Goods lost, stolen, destroyed, write off, disposed of by way of the gift or free sample, ITC not allowed. Goods lost, stolen, destroy or write off or disposed of, but by way of the gift or free sample. What is the meaning of gift? Which is voluntarily in the nature. What is the meaning of the gift? It is voluntarily in the nature. What is the meaning of the gift? It is voluntarily in the nature. See, you cannot take as a right. Suppose I have decided on Diwali occasion to give the gift of, let's say, one pack of dry fruits of 1 kg to every employee. But I have not given to one employee. Whether that employee can claim as a right, answer is no, because it is a gift. Gift is always voluntarily, not compulsory. So if something goods lost, stolen, destroyed, write off or disposed of by way of the gift or free sample, ITC not available. You purchase the material, and some of the material it is being lost by fire or by damage or by theft. Some material has been lost. You cannot take the ITC of material to that extent. Or some final product is become obsolete. You have decided to write off, disposed of in Kabadiwala. You are disposing that material to Kabadiwala. You cannot take the ITC. You cannot take the ITC of goods lost, stolen, destroyed, write off or disposed of by way of the gift or free sample. We will do certain example on this particular clause. Last clause, let's complete the last clause. Then we will again do that some discussion on the question given in the study material. Section 10 relate to the composition levy. Composite dealer, there are normal category of the registration and there are composition category of the registration. In case of the composition, they have to pay the tax at a very nominal rate. That is 1%, 5% or 6%. Condition, they cannot take the ITC and they cannot collect the tax from the customer. I use these points are in favor of ITC. If not, then clause D, I understood, otherwise not. So you are saying conditional understanding. Ayush, you are saying conditional understanding, is it? No problem. Is important of services also included in clause F? What is the clause F? See, they are saying in case of the NRTP, non-resident taxable person, they will not give ITC of whether goods or services, doesn't matter. They are only allowing import of the goods, except of the goods imported by him. So I'm saying if they import the services, will the ITC be available? Answer is no, because in the exception only goods is written. These points are not in favor of ITC. All these points are talking about that ITC is blocked unless and until it is covered in the exception. What is the common point of 17.5? What is the common understanding of 17.5? 17.5 is giving the list of the block category in which ITC not allowed unless and until you are covered in the exception, like clause F. It is saying that except on goods imported by him. So if non-resident taxable person is importing the goods, ITC allowed. If is domestically purchasing the goods or services or importing the services, ITC not allowed. Yes. Now absolutely correct statement. Ayush, now your statement is absolutely correct. These points are against ITC, means block credit. Only exceptional make ITC eligible. So I can say if something is being covered in the exception, you can take the ITC or you are eligible to take the ITC. Now 100% correct. Any question? Every participant, any question? Any taxes paid in accordance with the provision of section 74, 129, 130. These sections belongs to penalty provisions. So 74, 129, 130 penalty related provision is not in your syllabus. It is not in your syllabus and it is being covered in the final. So you can just understand that there is a one block category. So please tell me any question so far. If you have any question for the block category, today we have discussed only block category, nothing else. Now I need to read some circular which is being given in this particular clause. See, first part, yes, 16.2 of IGST I have to read. Quickly tell me, is there any question? No. So point number 1, the logical things is if your outward supply is taxable, you can take the ITC. If your outward supply is exempted, you can take the ITC. No. If your outward supply is taxable, you can take the ITC. If your outward supply is exempted, you cannot take the ITC. The 16.2 of IGST says that if you are supplying the exempted item to out of India, if you are supplying the exempted item to out of India, friend, once you export or supply to the SEZ unit, it is called as zero rated supplies. It is called as zero rated supplies, correct now? 16 subsection 1 of IGST Act giving the meaning of zero rated supplies. Two transaction, one is export and supply to the SEZ unit. Always remember 16.2 of IGST Act. Till now we have discussed 16 of CGST Act. Here we are talking about IGST Act, which says that if you are exporting even exempted item, you are allowed to take the ITC. You are allowed to take the ITC. Clause E, clause F, clause I. There's a problem in the clause E, clause F, clause I. So if I am registered under composition levy, I cannot take the ITC because that is the category of the registration in which they are paying the tax very lesser amount. Lesser percent is 1% or 5% or 6%. Sakti, is it clear? Sakti, is it clear? Clause E is clear. Quickly confirm. We have the lesser time. Only 30 minutes is left. Please confirm. Is it clear? Second, you are saying F. So non-resident taxable person. If one person belongs to out of India, coming in India for temporary purpose, taking the registration in the GST under non-resident category, he can take the registration but no ITC except import of the goods. Third, clause I, these are the penalty section. Obviously, if someone is paying the taxes because of the any penal consequences, ITC won't be available. 16.2 of IGST Act, I hope it is clear that in case of the export or zero rated supplies, means export or SEZ supply, even though you are exporting exempted nature, you are exporting exempted supply, ITC would be available, no problem. I am touching upon the point which is being left. If anything is left, then I will touch upon this point. So nothing would be there for you, that untouched point. Everything is covered with along with example on the car. We have discussed a lot. I'm not taking these point again. Works contract service we have discussed in length, not taking these point again. So you are requested to read what is the meaning of immovable property. It is being given in the General Clause Act, which is being attached to earth, etc. Attached to earth has also been defined. You are requested to refer that meaning. This exception I have covered. Construction, only capitalization we have discussed. Meaning of plant and machinery, yes, this please discuss. Please see. Meaning of plant and machinery means apparatus, equipment and machinery fixed to the earth by foundation or structural support that are used for making outward supplies and include such foundation or structural support. And for foundation, whatever you are incurring the expenditure on work contract or goods or services you purchase, you remember in the clause C and the clause B. In both the clause, it is written except on plant and machinery. Other than plant and machinery, it means if you are incurring the expenditure for creating the foundation or structural support, ITC would be available. ITC would be available. But they are excluding certain item. Land, building or other civil structure. For plant and machinery, I have created the shed. For keeping the safe plant and machinery, I have made the foundation. I have made the structural support, ITC available. But suppose for plant and machinery, I have made one roof. I have made one separate room. ITC not available. If you are incurring the civil structure, ITC not available. Suppose I am into that. I am Airtel or I am Jio. Provide the telecommunication services. I need to fix the telecommunication tower. Whatever the expenditure is there, I won't be available to take ITC. So these are in the block category because it is not considered as plant and machinery. If something is plant and machinery, I can take the ITC. If something is not the plant and machinery, I cannot take the ITC. So they are saying telecommunication tower, civil structure, or pipeline led outside India, outside the factory premises, you can't, it is not work, it is not plant and machinery, ITC not available. Always remember. You should remember these words: land, building and other civil structure, telecommunication tower and pipeline led outside the factory premises. It is not plant and machinery and therefore ITC is not available. I'm requesting again, please by heart this, remember these definition, because they can give one line item, pipeline led outside India, there is an expenditure of 1 CR on which 10 lakh is the GST. ITC available or not? So I'm rounding off the percentage. I'm rounding off the figure just to make our understanding very much clear. Therefore, ITC on the work contract service allowed for construction of eligible plant and machinery irrespective of the business nature. For instance, ITC, the work contract for construction of machinery fixed to earth by foundation would be allowed. However, for construction of telecommunication tower, ITC is in the block category. So this part we have clear, self-construction, this part we have clear. Yes. So we can say that ITC is available for construction of plant and machinery. ITC is available if not capitalized. ITC is available if it is not its own account. Correct. Now for clause D, I can say these three exceptions. We have discussed this part. Clause Z we have discussed. You all requested to read the language, but every analysis we have done. Gift we have discussed that it is voluntarily in the nature. It is voluntarily in the nature. See, main keyword for the gift is voluntarily in the nature and it is without consideration. Now moving to the one circular, that is 92. Some revision for you of previous chapter, not the current chapter. For current chapter, we will start at 8:15 or 8:20. See, circular 92 we are discussing. If I am giving the sample and the free gift, if I am giving the sample and free gift, will the ITC be available? This is the point which we are discussing. ITC in the hand of the supplier in respect of the sales promotion scheme. See, can you tell me that if my outward supply is free gift or sample, is it taxable? Any transaction is taxable without consideration. Will it be a supply without consideration? Suppose I am giving the free gift to someone. Will it be a supply without consideration? Can you tell me without consideration, can the transaction be treated as a supply? Without consideration, can the transaction be treated as a supply? Very important question to all of you. It is related to supply chapter. It is linked to the supply chapter, but somehow one leg is linked in the ITC also. Please tell me if your outward supply is free gift without consideration, in which consideration is not there, can you say it is a supply? Can you say it is a supply? Yes or no? Supply without consideration, in which case the transaction which is free of cost without consideration, can it be treated as a supply? Can it be treated as a supply? The right answer is Karthik Gupta. Right answer is Dhaneshwari. If outward supply, two important pillar, business and consideration, in the absence of any pillar, we cannot say the supply. But there is one exception. What is that exception? Schedule 1. You remember, na? If the transaction is covered in the Schedule 1, then even without consideration, the transaction is a supply. Correct? So let's say I am giving the free gift to my relative. I am giving the free gift to my distinct person. Because of the Schedule 1 para 2, it becomes taxable. Prima facie. Let's read now. Now let's read together. We are reading the circular 92. we are reading the ITC for promotional schemes. We are discussing the promotional scheme eligibility of the ITC. Sample which are supplied free of cost. Sample which are supplied free of cost without any consideration does not qualify the supply except Schedule 1. We are saying ITC shall not be available whether it is input, whether it is input service, or whether it is capital use. ITC not available, but if activity of the gift or free sample is become supply on account of the Schedule 1, then ITC would be available. What is the meaning? And this is very important. This is very important. Say I'm saying gift or free sample. Let's say I'm dividing in two parts. If it is covered under Schedule 1, if it is covered in the Schedule 1, then it is a supply. If it is covered in the Schedule 1, then it is a supply. Yes. Once it is a supply, you can take the ITC. Suppose gift or the free sample is not covered in the Schedule 1, not covered in the Schedule 1. Then your outward transaction of the free gift or sample is not a supply, and therefore there is no ITC. I hope it is clear. Kindly confirm. The para 1 of the circular 92 is clear to all. Sample and free gift is clear to all. Kindly confirm. Second is buy one, get one free offer. Buy one, get one free offer. Mr. A is having one shop. He is making the supply of the shirts. He is having the business of the shirts. He is making one offer that you purchase one shirt, I will give you second shirt as a free. So you are giving one shirt and additional shirt you are giving free. Circular 92 is saying it is not a supply of one shirt as a free. They have changed the angle to look this transaction. Repeating the example once again. I am saying, or Mr. A is saying, you purchase one shirt, let's say 1,000 rupees. He will provide one additional shirt free of cost. The question is whether ITC would be available on second shirt, because he is not collecting any consideration. I hope question is clear. Whether ITC would be available on second shirt. They have changed the angle to look this transaction. It is not the transaction of buy one shirt and second shirt as a free. Rather, this is a transaction of two or more taxable supplies. Two or more taxable supplies which either be classified as composite or can be classified as mixed. It is not a single shirt supply. It is the supply of two or more taxable item which is being supplied in the bundled nature, maybe naturally bundled, maybe artificially bundled. Depending upon composite or mixed supply, the both shirts are taxable, and hence ITC of the both shirt is available. Absolutely, Karthik, correct. Isa, absolutely correct. B point constitute the supply. Constitute the supply, Karthik, absolutely. What if the principal supply the free sample to the agent? For the agent on his behalf, sell it in the for the price. What will the consequence in such case? Karthik, principal to agent. Karthik, principal to agent. Third para of the Schedule 1. So even I am giving the free gift to the agent, the transaction become taxable because of the Schedule 1. So ITC would be available. Discount. For the discount, I hope you have read the section 15 subsection 3. You read the section 15 subsection 3 in the valuation chapter. So they are saying if certain conditions are satisfied, so discount offered by the supplier to the customer, buy more, save more, or volume discount, then according to the 15.3, if three conditions are satisfied, there has to be the agreement on or before the supply. It should be linked to the relevant invoices, and the recipient has reversed the ITC. Then you can issue the credit note by charging the GST. The discount amount would be excluded from the value. I'm not discussing too much, just I have linked with the 15.3. Valuation chapter is already completed. So if the condition is satisfied, I will issue the GST credit note. Otherwise, I will issue the credit note without charging the GST. Commercial or the financial credit note. However, the supplier shall be entitled to avail the ITC for such input service or the capital goods used in relation to the goods or services on such discount. So by this, I have completed the chapter. Over to you for any question, any doubt. Then last 10-minute quick question answer, we will start. If you have any question, please ask. With respect to this block credit, if you have any question, kindly ask. Otherwise, I will start the quick round of the question answer. Fine, no problem. No problem. Is it okay? Great. So I hope everyone is clear. Can I start the quick round of the question answer? You will enjoy. Definitely, I can say you will enjoy. But I only request that you all will participate. You just not treat or not listen. Try to participate. Try to give the reply in the chat. Whether it is correct or not doesn't matter. So can we start? Kindly confirm. Can we start? Sir Raghavan, I am not taking the discount part because it is linked to the valuation chapter. It will take 10-15 minutes. So I have just given some linking. You can revisit to the video, the valuation. You will definitely get clarity. Pooja, you have to see the valuation chapter. See, only point that if I'm giving the discount and I am satisfying the three condition, then discount would be excluded. I can charge the GST on that discount. Credit note, I can charge the GST. And whatever the goods or services, if it is being used, I can take the ITC. Chalo, all are ready. So now we are moving to the quick round of the question answer. Sir, in the previous lecture, 5% ITC part not applicable. Amended, na? Rafiq bhai, it is amended. From 1/1/2022, that part has been omitted. Now the new 36.4 is saying ITC would be available when it is appearing in 2B. There is no concept of 105%. That concept of 2A is being removed. Now the 2B is being replaced, equal to 100%. If appear, take ITC. If not appearing, no ITC. Restaurant can collect the tax if they are registered under regular category. They can collect the tax. If they are registered under composition category, they cannot collect the tax. Stop. Now starting the question. I am also asking whatever it is coming in my mind. I am asking, and you should give the reply accordingly. Tell me, if I am exporting the exempted goods, can I take the ITC of input service and capital goods? Question is, if I am exporting the exempted item, can I take the ITC of input service or capital goods? Kindly give the reply. If I am exporting the exempted item, to out of India or to SEZ, can I take the ITC? Answer would be yes. ITC available, 16 subsection 2 of IGST Act. We have used the word zero rated supplies. We have used one word, zero rated supply. Can you tell me what is the zero rated supplies? Can you tell me what is the zero rated supplies? Quickly, please give the answer fast. We have used the word zero rated supplies. Can you tell me what is the zero rated supplies? The answer is zero rated supplies. The answer is zero rated supplies. The answer is zero rated supplies. The answer is export and supply to the SEZ unit or developer. Export of goods or services and SEZ supply. If I am purchasing the motor vehicle which is being used for transportation of person, can I take the ITC? If it is up to 13 seater, can I take the ITC? If it is up to 13 seater, can I take the ITC? I have purchased motor vehicle used for transportation of person up to 13 seater, can I take the ITC? Quick answer. Kindly give the reply. No ITC. No ITC. Question number 3, no ITC. If I am purchasing the vessel using for transport, see, I am purchasing the vessel or aircraft for the transportation of its own goods. Company has purchased the vessel and aircraft for transportation of its own goods. It is not doing the business of transportation. They have purchased the aircraft using the aircraft for the transportation of its own goods. ITC available or not available? ITC available or not available? It is not the outward taxable supplies they are using for its own purpose. Transportation of goods they are using for its own purpose. It is not the outward taxable supplies. Will the ITC be available or not? Will the ITC be available or not? Company purchased the vessel for transportation of its own goods. Will the ITC be available? Answer is yes, ITC would be available, because for transportation of goods, it is not necessary that it should be outward taxable supplies. You can transport your own goods, no problem, ITC available. Revisit the lecture, we have discussed that the transportation of goods, they have made separate clause. They have not clubbed with the outward taxable supplies. If I am incurring the expenditure on the food and beverages, you tell me, big question. It is a big question. There may be the multiple 2-3 point answer. If I am incurring the expenditure on food and beverages, you tell me when the ITC would be allowed. If I am incurring the expenditure on food and beverages, you tell me when the ITC would be available. There would be two answer. There would be two answer, two possible answer. In case if the company is incurring the expenditure, in case if the company's expenditure, in case the company is incurring the expenditure on account of the food and beverages, whether ITC would be available. If yes, there is two possibility. Give me the both possibility. Great, Karthik. Thank you for your kind wishes. Will the ITC be available? When there are two possible answer. If I'm incurring the food and expenditure, normally it is block category, but I'm saying when the ITC would be available. Yes. If it is obligatory for an employer to provide to its employee, or second, if it is same category of the business or taxable as a part of the composite or mix, yes, then ITC would be available. Great answer. Great answer. Work contract service if not capitalized, ITC available. 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 Work contract service if not capitalized, will the ITC be available? Companies constructing the or making the renovation expenditure for immovable property, then whether the ITC would be available. Answer is yes, available, because you are not capitalizing. Can you tell me the work contract service is confined to the immovable property, movable property, or both? Meaning of work contract service is confined to the movable property, immovable property, or both? Ansari ji, Mr. Ansari, it should not be in the, there is no requirement of course or furtherance of the business for 17.5. You are talking about which expenditure? Achha, food and beverages. Not necessary that it should be in the course of furtherance of the business, but it should be linked to your same category of the outward supplies, then allowed, or it's a part of the composite mix, then allowed, or if it is an obligatory, then allowed. My question, work contract service, ITC available? Answer is yes, ITC available if it is not capitalized. Next question I was that whether work contract service is confined to the immovable, movable, or both. Answer is only immovable property. Only immovable property. If non-resident taxable person is coming to India, taking the registration, which ITC is permissible? Which category of the expenditure ITC is permissible? Which category of the expenditure ITC is permissible to whom? To non-resident taxable person. Which ITC is permissible? Import of goods. Excellent. Import of goods. Excellent. Import of goods. Composition dealer can collect the tax from the customer. Whether composition dealer are allowed to collect the tax from the customer. Composition dealer are allowed to collect the tax from the customer. Whether composition dealer are allowed to collect the tax from customer. Whether composition dealer are allowed to collect the tax from customer. Answer is whether composition dealer are allowed to collect the tax from customer. Answer is no. Whether he, next question, whether composition dealer are allowed to take the ITC. Whether composition dealer are allowed to take the ITC. Whether composition dealer are allowed to take the ITC. Composition dealer cannot collect the tax. Composition dealer cannot take the ITC. Both not permissible. Both are not permissible. Right? Are you enjoying now? You all are enjoying, right? You all are enjoying now? Kindly confirm. I hope you all are enjoying the class, discussion, everything. Kindly confirm. This is not the question. This is only confirmation. Karthik is saying not at all. Next question. If goods are lost, destroyed by fire, ITC allowed or not? If goods lost by fire, ITC allowed or not? If goods lost by fire, by theft, ITC allowed or not? No, not at all. Not at all. ITC not allowed. ITC not allowed. You tell me, if the gift becomes supply because of the schedule 1, important question. If the gift becomes supply because of the schedule 1, if the gift becomes supply because of the schedule 1, ITC available or not? If the gift becomes supply, because of the schedule 1, will the ITC be available? If the gift becomes supply because of the schedule 1, will the ITC be available? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. If schedule 1, if your transaction is become supply because of the schedule 1, ITC would be available. Last question, if the GST credit note, if the credit note is without GST, what could be the name of that credit note? What would be the name of that credit note? If the credit note is without GST, what should be the name of that credit note? In the layman language, which name to be given such type of the credit note? Rafiq bhai, you are talking about reverse. If my outward supply become taxable because of the schedule 1 without consideration, I can take the ITC. Clear, Rafiq bhai? Kindly confirm. The last question which I asked, that if the GST, if the credit note is without GST, what could be the name of that document? Absolutely correct. Commercial credit note or financial credit note. Thank you so much to each and every participant. Goodbye to all of you. We'll meet in the next class on Wednesday. Only 2 minutes we can wait. Just wait for 2 minutes and then we can conclude. Just wait for 2 minutes. I use that is called as commercial credit note or financial credit note. आदत है सर कार्तिक, डेली की आदत है मेरी, ऑलमोस्ट डेली की आदत है. I am not providing the teaching to the CA student. This is just part of the opportunity given by the institute, but otherwise I am not providing the teaching to the CA student. Or because of the point that you asked me, it is my regular daily activity, so I will not feel any type of fun. Please explain third proviso rule 36. Let me talk about that. Please explain third proviso to subsection 2 the section 6, not 6, 16 होगा ना, 16 subsection 2 third proviso. The concept of the provisional ITC on the self-assessment basis, as mentioned in the analysis of section 62 CFS number. Fine, no problem. To the extent I can recall, I can give the answer, but otherwise we can discuss by using the notes. To the extent I can recall, I can give the quick reply, not the detailed reply. Point number 1, third proviso to 16 to. Please explain rule 36 sub rule 3. So your all three questions will take at least 15-20 minutes. So we'll take up on any other day. The day when we will complete the class at the early, then we will take up all the 3 questions. Okay, great. No problem, Ayush. Karthik, is it okay? We will take on any other day because it will need 15-20 minutes. Another class would be started by 9 o'clock mine. So I would not be able to complete the discussion right now. So we will take up on any other days. Okay, fine, Karthik will discuss. Thank you very much. Pooja, beta ye daily ka aadat ho gaya. See, providing the teaching to not the CA student to because it is being opportunity given by institute. I am very much thankful that I can interact with all of you. It has become daily practice, so that is the reason for since 4.5 years I am providing the teaching of the GST. That is the reason, nothing else, but not to the CA student, not at all. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye to all of you. Ram sir, you can conclude the class.